You are now back and you are watching part 2. And if you don't know what you're watching, these are 5 huge car buying mistakes that people are constantly making. But remember, this is part 2. You have to go to YouTube, Hamid Yaz, just click the link and so on, and you will see part 1. And then, of course, the part 3 coming out as well. So let's get this video started, and we're going to pick up where we left off, because now you have 5 more than the original 5 on part 1. So it's getting even better as you continue watching. So 5 of the biggest car buying huge mistakes that people are making. Number 1, you are not challenging bullshit fees and, charges, and you're not really paying attention. Now, obviously, realistically, at the very end, when you're sitting down with the finance manager at a smaller dealership, the little locally owned ones on the corner, you might be the salesperson is the finance manager realistically, or the owner, whoever. But when you get to a bigger dealership, they're very vague. They're very vague with interest rates and so on. And you don't really know until the end that you get to sit down in the actual chair in the finance manager's office. Go watch part 1 and you'll understand more about that, okay? So what I mean by these charges and fees, a good example, because I promised y'all examples in part 1, and this is an example, a document fee. I live in Texas, okay? And I'm going to tell you how to throw one back at them, because remember, all they're trying to do is finesse you. Buying a car is all about, manipulating numbers is really all it is. But you got to learn how to manipulate them back. Now, fear of missing out, FOMO, you've heard that. This is exactly what we're going to talk about right here. So, what is a document fee? Okay, typically, depending on the dealership or the price point of the vehicle you're looking at about $150 to $350 document fee. Now, when you get that big, long, pink or yellow slip, whatever, when you buy a vehicle, you're like, what is this? Like what the heck? What is this? And you ask them and they'll tell you some BS like, we have to go to the courthouse and the inspection and the this and the that and the blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you the truth about how this works, okay? They have employees that do all of that, okay? I know people that work at car dealerships. It's not just my own experiences, but game that I'm giving y'all from insiders, okay? They have employees. So when you ask them, and remember, you have to stand your ground. Don't be afraid. And I'm going to tell you how to stand your ground here in a bit and really shock them. You ask them, hey, so what is this document fee? And typically on the larger dealerships, it'll say this is not a state mandated fee, because it'll say tax, title, license, inspection, blah, blah, blah. But we're talking specifically with the document fee. You ask them, and they're, once again, we got to do the inspection, we got to do this, we got to do all that, we got to do that. Say, okay, do you have an employee that does it, I'm assuming? And they'll say, yes. Here's the kicker. The employee is already getting paid $15, $16, $17, whatever dollars an hour to do all of that stuff. Sometimes it's done in the AC. Sometimes they have someone that comes and does it out. Sometimes they just go right next door around the corner. They might even be a certified place that can do inspections because of the volume that they do. Okay? So you ask them, say, wait a second. If you already have an employee, why am I going to pay an additional $150? Now, keep in mind, with interest, you're going to pay even more. Some people might pay double that depending on the interest rate that you got screwed on. So always challenge, and if they're like, this is more than likely what they're going to tell you, people. They're going to say, everybody pays that, and everybody, say, wait, let me ask you a question. Is it a mandatory fee by the state of Texas that I have to pay? They will say no, because legally they can't say yes. They will say no, okay? Say, okay. So this is something you guys are putting on there, right? They'll say, yeah, but everybody. Say, okay. And this is a trick that I've done before. And you can ask them exactly like this. Now look at this little bug flying around. They're like these lights. You ask them, you say like this. Let's say the car is a $20,000 deal. You specifically ask them. Remember, in this tone of voice, and this is how you say it. Are you willing to lose a $20,000 deal over $150? and then you shut your mouth. You just let it be an awkward silence and pause, because I highly doubt they're going to say, yes, of course I'm willing to lose a $20,000 deal. So they don't want to lose a $20,000 deal, and they will take it off, stand up, start walking away, and they're going to realize that last little $150 that they're trying to squeeze out of you, they don't want to lose you. They know you're smart, and they'll take it off for you. So always be mindful and look, depending on, your dealer and so on, you have to see what kind of fees and extra things that they're trying to charge, because a lot of them are really a bunch of BS. So just letting you know. The next one, number 2, not putting any money down. Not putting any money down. So here's a reality when buying a vehicle. When you put money down, you look more favorable to a bank. Later we'll talk about, another video, we're going to talk about cash and this is cash buying or financing. But right now we're talking about when you actually finance and you put money down. Car dealerships, whether it's in-house or whether it's a third-party bank that they're going to, or they have their own bank like Nissan that we were talking about earlier, NEMAC, they call it. They want to know that you are less risk. They want to know that you've saved up $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever, because now you look more favorable, and they'll say, you know what, this is a person that looks like they can pay, blah, 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 blah. And you can actually get a better interest rate because you got more skin in the game in reality. Now, you have to also keep in mind, if you go through a third party, the car dealer doesn't care. The car dealer, I think it's within like 30 days, I believe it was, they get the check for the vehicle that they sold you. They are 100% paid. It's the bank that you owe the money to. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't owe, unless you're going to like the little rinky-dinky, buy here, pay here type of place that you get screwed on interest anyways. But if you're going to a larger dealership, they already got their money from the bank. You owe the bank. So why will the bank loan you $25,000 for a car, then tax, title, license, and then interest, and would be $35,000 floating around when you have no skin in the game? You can get better interest with money down. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend it. Every car I've personally ever purchased has been between $2,000 and $6,000 down. It helps. I know there's like a golden number, like 20% or whatever, but really, it depends on the price of the car. Hell, my son got a car was, how much was it? $16,471, and that one he put $5,000 down, got a really good interest rate. It was actually a used car, and everything worked out fantastic. Deal was quick. We made it happen fast, and that's that. So always try your hardest. Save up money for a month, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Always try and put money down. Don't make the mistake of putting zero down. The next one, number 3, not focusing on interest and price. Not focusing on interest and price. This is why this is crazily important. Your average car salesman, also, by the way, depending on what you look like, because they're going to say, oh man, this is like prey walking. They're going to get you. They're going to ask you, what can you afford? What would you like your car payment to be? Now, some people don't even know what the hell they're talking about because they want to buy a $50,000, $60,000 truck and then say, I'd like my payment to be $375. Well, I don't know if they make 12-year payment plans, but I highly doubt those exist. So what I'm saying is you need to focus on 2 things. The price of the vehicle and the interest. The car payment works itself out with those numbers accordingly, okay? You do not need to tell them, well, I would like to be in between $350 and $399. So let's just say you don't even know what your credit score is. Watch the other video, part 1, and so on. You don't even know what your car payment could be. So all they have to do, if they, once again, manipulate the numbers, they can just be like, hey, we're able to get you $362. I know the max you said it was $399, but we're able to save you $30. Don't even worry about it. We're taking care of you. Yeah, I'm looking out for you. I convinced my finance manager, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all. They're all the same, okay? Like women, when you go on a date with these guys you meet on, what is it, Tinder or I don't even know, Plenty of Fish or Match or Hinge or whatever these are, they all say the same thing, right? All the same lies they say. However, Car dealers are all the same way. Car salesmen are all the same way. Salesmen, saleswomen, salespeople. That's more gender fluid because it could be anybody. So focus on price and interest. Do not fall into the trap of giving a magical number because you did your own calculations at home. Don't worry about what you came up with at home with your car payment. Worry about interest and total price of the vehicle. The next one, number 4, you need to know the true market value of your vehicle. You need to know the true market value of your vehicle. Now, also keep in mind, depending on the city that you live in, if you live in San Francisco compared to El Paso, Texas, a 2015 Nissan Altima might be going for 2 different prices in reality. Keep that in mind. So what you need to do, what I personally highly recommend, is look at, you have Edmunds.com, KBB, which is Kelley Blue Book. They're also online. What's the other one? I think Carfax, you can kind of look. I just went blank. NADA is another one. It's an old school one. We used to go to the auctions back in the day. It was like a little yellow book. I think it's National Association of Auto Dealers or something like that. So you have Kelley Blue Book, you have NADA, you have Edmunds. You can also look at like CarMax, Carvana, not for the price of the cars, but those are typically like the max of the max of the max, because those are the people that are getting screwed. Just FYI. I know it's no hassle, no haggle, blah, blah, blah. I totally understand that. But those are for people that are really scared crapless and don't want to deal with the drama and all the headaches, all the lies of the salespeople. But those are the people that end up getting screwed the most, and you really don't really win. You're actually paying them money not to give you headaches. That's really what's happening. Is you're saying, I'm going to pay you $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 over the value of the vehicle just so I don't have to try to negotiate with you. That's really what it comes down to. That's how it is. But yeah, you'll learn on your own. So look at those different websites, but keep in mind, you have to be accurate when you put your zip code, when you put, let's say you found a car, let's say it's used, it's a 2019 Honda Accord, we'll just say. You have to be accurate. Is it the LX? Is it the this? Is it the that? What the motor type? Does it have a spoiler? Does it have a CD changer? Does it even have the floor mats? How many keys does it have? Be honest with the condition that the vehicle is in. Don't just say, oh, it's excellent. And then it has like a little ding here, a little ding there, a little ding there. You have to be 100% accurate so you can get the closest true market value of your vehicle. And then, of course, by the way, when you get on these websites, these are the prices that they're going to give you. They're going to give you private party value. Private party value is realistically like when you go to Craigslist, for example, and you want to buy the car, from an individual, a private party, an individual. The next one will be a dealer trade-in. Like if you go to trade your car into a dealer, that's how much the dealer should be giving you. Now, keep in mind, all of this is a manipulation of numbers game. So a lot of dealers will give you over the price of your vehicle, right? Because remember, they're going to screw somebody else selling your vehicle to them anyway, in reality. So they honestly might even pay you $500 to $1,000 over the actual value of your vehicle just to get you into another vehicle where they're going to screw you on that also. That's how the game works. That's why you got to know, wait a second, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that's exactly why. Because they'll find a way to get their $500 or $1,000 back. And the next one, of course, is dealer retail. Dealer retail. That's the price that it should be at a dealership with all the options. The mileage, by the way, be honest with the mileage. If it has 135,000, put 135,000. Don't say 80,000. Be honest with everything. And that is another good way to get the true market value of the vehicle so you truly know what you're paying or should be paying. So when you go to the dealer, you can say, hey, look, I went to boom, 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 boom. And, these are roughly give or take $500 apart. we'll meet in the middle. That's the most I'll pay for this vehicle. Now, just FYI, even if the dealer says, oh, yeah, we can do that, and they meet you there, then remember, that's the price. The next one is where they're going to screw you with the damn interest. So you have to watch out because they might work the price for you to be in your favor, but then you might get screwed with your interest rate. Watch video number 1, part 1 for that. Totally change your life. I'm trying to help you people here. It's free information. The next one and the last one of this part 2 video is not having a text, email, or some kind of document from another dealership. So don't just go to one dealer to buy your car. Go to multiple dealers. If you're looking for a Honda, go to multiple Honda dealerships. You might even have to go to another city, believe it or not. I live in Austin area. I went to New Braunfels. This is actually what I did. Just FYI, let me, speaking of, I'll tell you the most recent one. This was at a dealership here this one was in Round Rock, okay? This is actually a better story. So I typically don't like to give car salesmen my phone number because they'll just bug you. And if I ever do, I say, look, I'm busy, we're busy guys or whatever, just text, it's cool, blah, blah, blah. But you're setting up the honey trap. And what I mean by that is you're setting up the trap for them to slip and give the wrong information. And the wrong information is basically numbers. Because remember, just because there's a number on a text message, it doesn't mean it's the whole story, okay? So I was dealing with one dealership, for example, and this, $17,800 certified pre-owned. It was one of those where it's like, oh, this is the internet price, kind of like a no haggle. This wasn't CarMax or Carvana. And by the way, a lot of dealerships are kind of starting to do this whole business model to begin with. Buy online, no haggle pricing, whatever, right? So it was $17,800. And I talk about this a little bit in the part 1 video. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, well, let's run the interest, whatever, They came with some 7% BS. I'm like, you're out of your mind. My credit score is nowhere near to be getting me 7% interest. Oh, let's see what we can do. Well, so check this out. So that vehicle in particular, it was a used car, but it was a certified pre-owned. So they said, okay, we can get you 3.46% interest. I'm like, okay. He said, but, we can't give you the $500 discount. I'm like, well, why not? They said, well, because we're cutting your interest in half. I'm like, yeah, you're cutting my interest in half from a bullshit number to begin with. And they're like, no. We talked to the manager, blah, 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 all this BS that they typically tell you, right? So you're thinking they're working with you when really they're working against you because they're trying to get every penny they can out of you. That's the reality of car sales. Really sales in general, but car salesmen, honestly, salespeople, we'll say, gender fluid, remember, they typically have more of a bad rap. So according to this salesperson, okay, just FYI, he told me they could not give me the $500 discount that the website says because of the fact that they're chopping my interest in half. And I'm like, but the website says if I finance through your company, I get the $500 discount. Oh, well, So bottom line, I was like, well, let me text you and, let me think about it. I got to go to, I don't know what I told. I got to pick up my son or something I told him. So I left. Okay, so I texted him like 2 hours later. I said, hey, what was the rate? He said 3.46. Boom, got him. So I texted the dealer, got him to put 3.46. Now remember, the next person that sees that text has no clue what the whole story was, that they're screwing me in some other way and not giving me the discount and the rebate and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up going to another dealership, okay? And this was same automaker. Went to another dealership, told him we just ran my credit, And I said, hey, just letting you know, if y'all can do something better than what the other guy told me, then I can start working with you. He's like, well, what was that? And I showed him the text. Now, keep in mind, I showed one salesman the text from another salesman, and it didn't say the whole story. So he saw 3.46. And he goes, oh, that's a good rate. I go, well, I got good credit. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. We can work with that. So anyways, I ended up getting this car. It was realistically the same year, certified pre-owned. The mileage was only like 1,000 miles off. Only thing that was different was really just the color, but condition, everything was cool for $1,500 less. And 1,000 or 500 of that was actually the rebate that they gave me from the dealer, from the manufacturer. So the $500, oh, we can't do it from this guy was total bullshit. I made it work over there. I basically finessed them because I showed them a document or a text that basically said what my rate would be. And if you watch part one, you'll hear the other part of the story to where in the finance office, they tried to give me the 7% BS and I walked out and da-da-da. But yeah, so those right there are 5 huge, big car buying mistakes that people are making. Watch this video, share it, like, subscribe, share the knowledge with somebody. Don't let your loved ones get screwed. And I want you to become a better, not just negotiator, but to know what you're looking for when you go out there to buy a used or a new car.